The stuff that you can't control, don't focus on that. You can't control it either way.
Yep.
You're talking about a global pandemic. You're talking about people going rioting and all that kind of stuff. You can't focus on that. Don't. It's pointless. Focus on what you can do today. Prepare for the future when we do open, because eventually it is going to open and go back to some sort of normality. It may be different, but try to focus on what's going to be different. How can we adapt? How can we be better?
Hey legends, Damien here, the creator and founder of Apex Unleashed. Really looking forward to you today, to seeing today's episode, and hopefully for you, it's the gateway for you finding out a little bit about yourself and how you can help you move forward with your goals, hopes and dreams.
G'day everybody, it's Damien Piotr here from Apex Unleashed. Look, I have a very special guest, Frank Matina, mate. How are you?
Great, mate. Great. And yourself?
Look, 2022 has been a very, very busy start. You think about the way the world's been and everything else, is that you set your own pace in this world, don't you?
Definitely do. You have to. You have to. Otherwise, the pace will be set for you.
Yeah, and look, it's funny you say that, is that I know when I look at my emails, I'm on everyone else's to-do list. And I generally set aside time in the morning to get the things I need done first. Mate, what do you like? Because we're talking about property investor, business owner, lots of moving parts. What do you do as a person that needs to focus on the right things? How do you prioritize your day?
Yeah, look, that's a great question. The first thing that I need to hit, what's in emergencies? What's the first fire to put out? Like, you have to put that fire out. Because you can't, like some things, like you said, moving parts, it's all over the place. You got property, you got gym, you've got engagements, you got all this kind of stuff that's moving, full-time work as well.
Yep.
And you're gonna put out the one that's gonna need put out first before that explodes. And sometimes that's the one that's gonna pay you first. That's sometimes the case, or that's the one that's gonna cost you more if you don't put it out first.
Yeah.
So most times there's 20 tasks or 25 tasks a day to do. If you hit up the first 5, that's going to cost you the most, or it's going to pay you the most. That's talking financial or mental or energy wise. Hit those ones first.
I love that, man. And we probably would want to start with this: is that you're recently engaged, and a very smart man knows when he's got the right woman. And I think decision making is really important with that, isn't it? Like, whether it's your personal relationships, your family, everything else, mate. I think the big focus in 2022 is always going to be different for different people. But what it really comes down to is sort of like that mental awareness that we look to in the world, of like the mental strength you must have had to start a business. And 12 Rounds is the business that you started through COVID. Like, what's it like for you, and how important is it a focus for you to think about mental health? And I know you're a leader of a community and you've got family, friends, a wonderful partner. There must be something that's ingrained in you that goes, I need to focus on my mental health. What is it for you?
Yeah, look, balance is going to be the biggest indicator here. Like, if you can't balance your work life, your personal life, your marriage life, your partner life, it needs to be balanced, because you start putting too much effort on one side of the fence, well, then it becomes unbalanced. And then that side starts coming a bit wobbly. So you need to make sure that you're actually allocating enough time in all different departments. And you're never going to get that right 100% of the time, though you're going to be conscious enough to say, look, I've been focusing on my business. I've been stressed there. There is some time now that I need to actually focus on my relationship. Let's go out for dinner. Let's do something nice. You have to be conscious about it. You have to be on the ball. There's going to be times when you're going to drop the ball. That's fine. That happens.
Yeah.
Though you still got to be saying, okay, to yourself, asking yourself the question, where's the next fire? What are we going to put out here?
Do you think you're hard on yourself with the expectations of how you need to lead and carry yourself and your business and your investments and everything else? Do you think you're your harshest critic?
Yeah, sure. Almost never satisfied, which is a good thing, because I like pushing to the edge and like getting uncomfortable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what a motivator is. How far can you go? Where can you go? And how far can you push it, really?
That's so true. So I've got an anthem that I go off now. It's the man in the arena, right? Is that there's always a critic that's external, but it's that internal critic that goes, I can push more. And every level has a new devil. And I find for me is that if I've got things that I need to work on, and you talk about putting out fires and solving people's problems is that, let's be honest, Frank, is that we get paid to solve other people's problems on their behalf in a way. So, whether it's building a community around fitness, obviously property investment's a big thing in your portfolio, and that's how we met. And then there's probably the internal fire that you need to put in, pose yourself, is that you need to spark your own fire and you need to continue to go. Now, we've lived in a world, and you were down in one of the unfortunate states where you got locked down month after month after month. That internal burning desire for you to keep pushing and doing things, no doubt for you is that there were times where you were just like, what am I going to do? Be honest with our listeners. How'd you get through it? Because everyone has doubts.
For sure, mate. Look, there was days that I'm like, you know what, this is really bad. I'm not sure if I want to go to work the next day or if I want to carry on with this the next day. Look, the only way that I found out my path out of that is just to focus on the things that you can do.
Yeah.
The stuff that you can't control, don't focus on that. You can't control it either way. You know, you're talking about a global pandemic. You're talking about people going rioting and all that kind of stuff. You can't focus on that. Don't. It's pointless. Focus on what you can do today. Prepare for the future when we do open, because eventually it is going to open and go back to some sort of normality. It may be different, but try to focus on what's going to be different. How can we adapt? How can we be better? Like you said, like day to day, it's going to be hard. It was hard. But we got through it, and we're always going to get through it, man. Like, I take myself back to the boxing days when I used to fight, like training days, man. Like, the mental discipline that I had there, it carries on to my business life. It carries on to my whole lifestyle.
Yeah. I love the quote is that consistency of action makes you competent. Going back to boxing, I take it that's something you resonate with?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I've got a saying as well, like there is no quick fix. Like, there is no get rich quick. There's no quick fix, man. You know what it is? It's hard work over a long period of time equals results.
Yeah.
And when I say hard work, I'm not saying labor work. I'm saying hard work as a balance, as an umbrella, your mental health, thinking about new ideas, not only just the hard work, going to work, doing the hours. I know people that's been doing that for 20 years and they're still not happy with their life because they didn't think harder up here.
Yeah. Isn't it so interesting is that your thoughts manifest into your life, and there's a lot of people going, oh, I wish I had it easier. It must be nice for such and such to be where they are and everything else. And, it's like crypto now is that, recent, like people are like into it and then it drops and it goes up and people think they're going to be instant millionaires and all these things is that, there are some success stories and we've met those people, you and I, and, it's almost like people expect now to have a golden parachute, and that taking risks and not having a golden parachute is what courage is. Because the courage to put yourself on the line and make a commitment and go, I have no choice but to succeed. It's scary to do that now because people just, for me personally, in the industries you're in, it's almost like they've forgotten where to put themselves in a position to be successful, because they don't want to be in a position where they have to go through hardship. In your background, how hard is it for you to actually help coach and develop people into put themselves in a position to be their own success? And I'm sure it frustrates you, but you also help people at the same time. Like, what's it like for you to be in the middle of that?
It can be a little bit frustrating, but at the same time, the whole generation has changed. Like, people don't want to work as hard as we worked, or how hard I felt I worked when I was a little bit younger. Well, even now I'm working hard, but I'm talking like we did 2-3 jobs at a time when we were younger, 18, 19, to get that first deposit. People don't want to do that now. Yeah. People don't want to work 3-4 jobs, 16-hour days, 14-hour days. They just don't want to do it. So unfortunately, until you cross that line of, hey, I need to work hard to get what I want, it just won't happen for you. You're not going to get the silver spoon. You're not going to get that. You need hard work. You got to do the time, do the hours, and then you got to think about what you're going to do next.
Yeah, and taking it into the fitness industry for you is that, this time of year is really busy because you've got a bunch of people that woke up on a Monday and said, today is the day, and we've got a great saying, is that Monday is the best day to lose fat. It's like the fat loss day. Monday is the best day to start a new program. We joke about it is that, guys, if you come into our gym and you want to look like that, and it's going to take you 3 years if you listen to me, and your health and fitness will be better for the rest of your life, do you have the 3-year commitment to do it? And that's not going to sell memberships, is it?
It definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't, no.
But what's the answer? The answer is it could take you through, because you might have taken 10 years to get there. We can reverse it in far less time, but are you going to commit to the rest of your life to have better habits? And people say what they're going to say, but their actions tell you a story. What's your success story for your fitness? Because you were boxing when you were younger and you've maintained your level of fitness through COVID and everything else. Why is fitness important to you?
I've got a lot of energy. If I don't focus and channel that energy, well, I can get a little bit distracted. I can get a bit like my habits start to unform. Like that took many, many years. So I do try to keep my fitness at a good level. It doesn't have to be, 6 times a week. Doesn't have to be like, dieting, 365 times a year. It's just keeping it at a good level where my habits don't unfold. And that's the biggest issue, because it's the habits where it's going to get you the lifestyle. It's the habits that's going to get you the body over a long period of time.
Yeah. And habit stacking is, how do you coach that? Because we all hear about habits and we talk about it. It's just, today is the day where you follow your meal plan. And you do that well, and then tomorrow, guess what you need to do? You need to follow that meal plan. How do you teach the habits to people? Because everyone's got a different way, right?
Absolutely, for sure. I actually wouldn't even go through the meal plan. I would say, let's see what we can deduct from your life that you're doing bad right now.
Sure.
Are you watching too much TV? Let's start small. Watching too much TV? Let's cut it down from 2 hours a day to 1 hour. Let's try to get another hour of sleep. What are you having for breakfast? Are we having, something that we shouldn't be having? Let's just cut that out. Very, very slow process, Damien. Like, I'm talking 1 habit a week.
Yeah.
Then 2 habits a week.
Okay.
Then you start chipping away like that. Because if I give someone 5 habit changes a week, they're going to say, Frank, this is too much. This is a lot.
Yeah.
Or they might do it. They might do it for 2 weeks, but then they can't handle it. They can't keep that consistency. So 1 habit a week over a long period of time where they've formed multiple good habits. And these aren't even like a task anymore. These are just natural. These are just, I'm drinking 5 liters of water a day now. It feels good. Like, I've got way more energy. I know why he said to do that now. I chip away good habits.
Reinforcement.
Yeah.
So you bring up overwhelm, is that you're right. You're so right. Is that if you say, here's the 6 things you need to do to make your life better, or you go, this is one thing you're going to focus on, and then every week I'm going to give you something new. By the end of that 6 weeks, it's business as usual. You've got all these different things that you're doing. And then, like you say, habit stacking, and it's really one of those things you work on quite well. That's really, really cool. Now, I'm guessing you have mentors that you've got to learn this from somewhere, right? It's life experience. It's talking to people that are educated. It's the circles you move in your environment. There are some mentors that you have that you listen to, whether it's in the property investment industry, the fitness industry, or something else, where you learned this, or is this just self-education that you've just gone, I need to get better every day?
The fitness stuff is a lot of self-education, though. I did have some good online coaches for a short period of time just to learn a couple little things.
Yeah.
But I think the habit stuff is just from trial and error. Just trial and error, man. It just comes back from when I was boxing, where I had to have that strict lifestyle, where we're talking an 8-week camp, no bad food, no alcohol, nothing but water, nothing, no partying, no seeing friends, just training, and sleep, and then go to work.
Yeah.
And then what I noticed after that 8-week camp, I would literally go on an 8-week bender. Because I try to play catch up on what I've lost in that 8 weeks of when I was in fight camp. I used to go from, I used to cut down from 90 kilos to 80 kilos and then go back up to 95 kilos within a 2.5 week, duration, which is massive, right? And I just found that, hey, I didn't correct the habits. What I did then was just, I had a goal, and for that 8 weeks, I just focused on that goal. And then after that, it didn't matter, which is the wrong way to do it, because really, if I had to do it again, I would stay probably 5 kilos above my fight weight, and then continue those habits, have that little bit of a balance where you can still go out and have a drink here and there, and then cut slowly back down, because you still got the habits. You won't put on 15 kilos. You won't try to go, what have I missed out on? I need to catch up on that. So, and this was very, very common. Like, every fighter that I knew was doing the same thing that I did. So it's out there, and I definitely emphasize the habit formation. I'm not even training that much these days, and I still balance my weight. Like, it's just because my habits are already set.
That's really cool, man. Do you miss fighting? Do you miss the competition, or do you have different competition now? So obviously you still get that thrill somewhere else.
Look, I think it's one of those things in personality wise. I always like the thrill. I always like to win. I always like the competitiveness. It's throughout my whole life. But like you just said, I think I've channeled it into different areas. Like, how many properties can I accumulate? How good can I get my relationship with my partner?
Awesome.
How about, like, my relationship with my friends? How many hours can I work with a day with, like, how much can I put out there?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. I feel best when I'm working hard. I feel best when I've done a 14-hour day and I've crushed it. That's when I go home and, like, I feel great.
Sorry.
Most people go home and, like, I'm exhausted. You're like, I feel great.
Accomplishments, a huge thing is that is that working a 14-hour day isn't the accomplishment. It's the work that's been done in that period to be like, I've impacted people. I've had a positive, I suppose, not just reinforcement in yourself is that you're on the right track, is that you've achieved something. I'd say a lot of the things you achieve are external to just you winning the day for you, bringing other people with you. Hey, that's important to you, isn't it?
Well, the more successful I get, the more I feel that I've accomplished. I give more. Always, like, it could be financial or it could be time. It could just be anything. The more that I succeed or I win, I feel like I need to give more. More to people that are on the same track, or just a nice gesture.
Yeah, it's very. You're in a very competitive, like where your gym is. There's almost as many gyms in your area.
It's a competitive area. But it keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that people get distracted, right? The new shiny object, this gimmick and everything else. And, basics work best, as we know. And it's that ability to communicate and interact with people that make a huge difference, no doubt. What do you think, like, if you were to not pitch about your business and what you do, is that if you were to share with people, is that what do they get? What's the Frank experience that they get? What do you think sets you apart from other people? Just being humble about it. I know you're humble, man, but you understand why people come to you, right?
100%. I get you. It's a great question. Like you said, I'll try to be as humble as possible. I think when people come in, I make them do stuff that they thought they couldn't do before.
Yeah.
Whether it's a box jump because, you're 40 kilos overweight, or it's just like doing some boxing and you're scared of it, and you never thought that you'll be able to do the stuff that you're doing. Or you never thought you'd lose 40 kilos, or you never thought that you're going to be looking great in a dress that you love, or have the ability or the comfortability to go to the beach in a bikini.
Sure.
Like, I believe people come to me and I can make them do that. I can make them believe it. I can make them see it.
Yeah.
And I help them accomplish it. I make sure they get a goal and I make sure they hit it.
Yeah. Because you've seen the transformation and you can speak to it, when you see it in their eyes and they see the change, joy must be something that's it never gets old for you, does it? It doesn't dull your sensation.
No,
it's a nice feeling.
It's massive, man. Like, and we're talking like minuscule things. Like, we're talking a box jump that's 30 centimeters.
Yeah.
Where to me, obviously, and also to you, like, that's like just a step. Someone that has never done it before, or they thought that was completely impossible. To take them over 2 weeks to get them over that hurdle, it's a really good feeling, and that's why I do it.
Yeah. How do you?
It's little things that count, man. It's little wins.
How do you reward yourself? Because you talked about is that you love to give back and you love to help others, and quality time is important to you. Is that how do you reward yourself for a job well done? Because you need something for Frank as well, right?
I don't reward myself too much, to be honest, mate. Like, I'm very, very plain and simple. I like the small things in life, mate. I just plain and simple. I like helping people.
Yeah.
A thank you is great. That's plenty for me. I don't need presents. I don't need cars. I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? I've done something today. That's enough for me. And I don't need anyone to give me anything or anything like that. I really am a simple person in terms of what I need.
I've got something for you, and I think you're going to like it. If you knew what you knew now, how many more properties would you have tried to buy pre-COVID? Be honest.
Actually, I thought about that the other day. I just thought, mate, like, I still think 5 properties I've got isn't much. Like, I honestly don't think it's much. People ask me, how many properties you got? 5 properties, $2 million worth of property, $2.5 million worth of property. It's literally minuscule. It's not much at all. It's just because I've surrounded myself with people that has probably 10 to 15 times that and isn't much older than myself. I've surrounded myself with successful people where, not to get jealous of them or anything like that, I'm just looking at shit. What's possible? He's only 2 years older than me and he's got 15 properties more than me. Why? What did he do? How can I do that? What questions can I ask him? Where can I help him for him to help me? Like, it's stuff like that. It's that's what I would have done earlier. I would have surrounded myself with people that have done what I want to do or is currently doing it. Okay, so definitely just surrounding yourself with more people. I would have just brought more property, man. Anyway, like, drop a pin, boom, bang, bye.
I get you, man. And you're in the right room when you're the person who's like, I can't believe I'm getting all this knowledge and information from people, and it's literally costing me nothing but time. Like, the learning that I get from people is, like, some rooms I'm in, I am just daunted. I'm like, I don't even think I should be speaking to these people, let alone getting information out of them. And it's a wonderful thing. And, my life changed because I went and paid for coaching to get into those rooms. Because what you don't get with those sort of situations is that network that you're talking about, that you can grow and build in, you can see what's possible. I can't put a price on it. And I'm sure you're the same. For people out there that are skeptical about these coaching programs and groups that we're in, what would you say to them is that, do you want to learn at a faster rate and be around successful people, or do you want to do it your own way? What would you tell them?
Oh, would you rather trial and error for 10 years or pay $2,000 and get the strategy that's proven? So you can try it yourself. You can make the mistakes that people are going to make, which is inevitable. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Or you can pay about $2,000 or whatever the coaching course is, or you can trial it for 10 years and you'll find out yourself.
Yeah.
So I would rather pay for the coaching. Same with people paying me for fitness. I've done it for the last 10 years. Unless you want to trial and error it yourself, pay for the coaching, go after it, get what you want, and just go hard, mate. Like, that's all you got to do. If you pay for something, just really go and focus on it.
You give someone the coaching program for free, they don't value it as much because the pay-to-play investment isn't there. Yet the blueprint is there, because I had a conversation with someone yesterday and it was a great question. And it was just like, the thing you just spoke about is easy to do. I said, what's so interesting is that it's also easy not to do. It's easy to join a gym and go to the gym 4 days a week and follow the program you've been given. You know what's also easy? To hit the snooze button, sleep in, go to work, run off your feet, being busy, getting to the end of the day, I'm tired, I'm not going to the gym. It's easy not to do that too.
It's definitely easier.
What's your advice to people that here's my thing, on the days where you don't want to do things, Frank, you still do them, don't you?
Definitely.
What's your advice to people who don't understand the difference?
Sure. I would say, what's the cost of inaction for not doing those?
Yep.
Is it more painful? Is holding 15 kilos of weight more painful than not going up again in the gym at 5:30 a.m.? If it is, that's fair. Like, it's up to you. That means your goal is just not strong enough to you.
Yeah.
If you rather hit the snooze button or, not take any action towards your goals, well, your goals are just not more important. Sleeping half an hour more is more important here, which is fine. Everyone to their own. But then don't go chasing that goal and saying that's what you want to be, because you really don't. Yeah. If you're not really chasing it, you really don't want that goal.
Yeah.
Unless you've had a hard look at it and you say, you know what, I want this. It's caused me enough pain for me to do this, to sacrifice this. Because as you know, you're always going to sacrifice something to gain something.
Yeah, I would say my last 4 years in this world is just my best growth opportunities came via a painful experience that, not that I could have avoided, but more action or a better strategy or not being reactive would have been a far greater benefit than doing nothing at all. Like the cost of inaction is scary. I couldn't put it into words. Is that, you know, that the bottle shop across the road, right, is not a place where success is bred. You know, it's like, yeah, sure, it feels good at the time, but you know, over a period of time, it doesn't help you. And you know, we all go through those lulls and those periods, and we have to drag ourselves out. We can't do it for people, and that's something that I know that you really resonate with as well. Before we go, is there any books or podcasts that you listen to that you like to go to learn and get some inspiration for yourself? Just because we always have a personal library of things that we try and listen to. Is there anyone you're listening to at the moment, or any books that you're reading that really work for you?
Look, man, I've been listening to Grant Cardone probably for the last, since I was probably 24. So I'm 29 now. Probably 5 years or so of Grant Cardone. Not for anything else, but the just, you know, just the inspiration. Look, his strategies are amazing, don't get me wrong. It's just the motivation, inspiration, just refreshes, stuff like that, you know, to realize, hey, you can make something of your life if you want to. It's all up to you at the end of the day. It really is. Yeah, I started listening to him a long time ago.
You know, Grant Cardone, people talk about it's too much energy, right? We'll edit that.
Yeah.
Too much energy, right? So for you, you're really high energy. So you relate to someone like him who's really high energy, hey?
Yeah, and I relate to, I think, somewhat of a addictive personality, as in terms, if you don't channel your energy to the right things or the things that are going to give you a positive outcome, it's easily dictated to the wrong things. So like even like when I started my property, I bought the property at 21, but I didn't buy any more property until I was 25.
Yeah.
Now, until I had some cash loaded up, and then I started spending this cash for no reason on the wrong things. It could be clothes, it could be a bit of gambling, it could be like I was like splashing cash. And then I came to a point where I'm like, you know what? If I don't get rid of this cash and put it somewhere, I can't control myself no more, because my habits have actually gone out and unfolded. My saving habits, my budgeting habits, you know. So these things were channeling to a negative outcome. So what I did is, you know what? I said, I'm getting rid of this money. I'm putting this money into another property.
Yeah.
Then a year after that, I bought 3 properties in 18 months.
Yeah.
Because I channeled my energy somewhere a bit more positive for me.
I like that. So you learned from where you were going.
Pain.
Yeah. And you went, corrective actions are cool, right? Because no one told you to do it. You worked it out.
That's correct. Like, I was never influenced by anyone to really go buy property. Like, I knew it was a good idea to buy property, my first one, but I never knew that, look, you could buy one property, refinance, or save up for the next property, take it through a growth cycle, and just accumulate and make your wealth like that. If I knew that since my first property, mate, it'll be like, you know, a really, really good outcome. But hey, you can't change that. So you always got to go and see what you can do today.
Yeah. Today is the focus, isn't it? And your target in 2022, what does success look like to you in 2022? What's important to you? Have you set the wedding date yet? Is that set?
Yeah, we set the wedding date. So the last 2 weeks has just been mumbling and jumbling about weddings, and you know, I'm sure that you probably know about it. So I've taken we go back to balance, right? I've taken my pedal off the gym just a little bit to focus my energy here, help out Elise, you know, try to work this thing out together. And then now this week, next week, I'm going to start putting my energy back on the pedal, on the gym, to make sure that, hey, the gym's now getting some attention. Gym now is getting some growth. This is the time to start pushing it. So again, it goes into a circle, and you're always going to start consciously saying what needs to be put out fire, what needs to be attention, what needs to be really, you know, sat on and focused on.
Yeah, I like that. And mate, how many members would you like to have in the next 12 months to help and support? What's a number that scares you that you have to go out and chase? Is that what you're thinking, or are you thinking something a bit different?
Sure. No, I'll love to have 200 members. 200 members for a 12-round gym is like, you know, it's at the highest kind of, it's the highest kind of caliber. So 200 members in 12 months, it's doable. It's hard though. It's roughly about 10 members a month. So that I need. So yeah, it's doable, but it's going to be a challenge. And that's what we're here for a challenge. We always got to challenge ourselves.
You got to keep the current members happy, build a referral network, and
Right.
then watch the growth. Like, be a friend, tell a friend is a wonderful phrase. That's where a lot
Yeah,
of
be a friend, tell a friend, build a community. Build a community where people feel comfortable to come to you. How many phone calls I have, Damien, and I ring them up and they're just not comfortable to come to a gym.
yeah,
Like they're just not comfortable to even walk into the door. They're that nervous, they're shaking. And they think they're the only ones. It's literally one in probably three people are that nervous to come to the gym.
yeah. How do you overcome that with people? How do you reinforce that it's okay to feel that way?
It's hard. I tell them it's okay to feel that way. Hey, we got plenty of members that's felt that way. Look at this person, that person. They felt like you. They've lost 30 kilos.
Mm,
I also tell them, hey, if you don't do this today and you come into the gym, where are you going to be in 6 months?
yeah,
And they'll say, oh, I probably haven't done nothing. Well, then what about 12 months? Probably nothing. What about 5 years?
yeah.
Yeah, still nothing. Okay, and how much weight do you think you're going to gain in 5 years?
Mm,
Well, maybe 10 kilos. Well, that's not going to feel good, is it?
yeah,
So I think a selling point, but it's a true point. You're gonna have some, some tough love here and say,
yeah,
if you're not happy, you do gotta commit to it. You do gotta jump the little hoop. I say, just come in, meet me, meet my partner, meet the crew. Don't go
yeah,
to train. Just come in and just have a look.
yeah.
First, just come one step, have a look. And if you feel like training, you train. If not, come back another day.
Yeah, I like that. And I know people offer free trials and all those things, and it does help. And it makes a big difference. And yeah, I completely understand that. And mate, the next 90 days for you, like every day is important, but the next 90 days for you, what's the focus leading up to Easter and beyond there for you? What's the number one target on your list?
Well, now until Easter is just growth. We need some solid growth, especially with COVID. As everyone knows, everyone in the gym industry has hit it pretty hard.
Mm,
We need some solid growth. We're talking 3-4 months of solid growth with no lockdowns and
yeah,
just getting people back into a healthy lifestyle. Because
gotcha.
if you ask every second person to put on weight or the mental health is not there, they just need something. And generally fitness, mate, as you will know, fitness helps. It helps me, it helps you, it helps everyone. And
Yeah.
you always feel better. You always feel better. Walking in the gym, walking out, I guarantee you're going to feel better walking out.
Yeah, 100%. And do you have any journaling habits or any writing, or do any meditation? Is there anything you do personally that you can write down your thoughts and just, I suppose, reflect? Is there any habits that you have that you do that, or does that not work for you? Because everyone's different.
Yeah, sure. For probably about 3 years straight, probably from 25 to 28, I pretty much wrote my goals down every single morning.
Sure.
And if I go back now, some of those goals actually hit where I thought they were impossible.
Mm,
Like, $2.5 million portfolio of property, I thought it was impossible by time 30. I'm
sure.
29 now. I hit it a year earlier.
Yeah.
Going back now, I would have actually made it bigger. I would have made them bigger goals. And who knows if I would have hit them or not, though I would have been happy if I fell short a little bit.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do a little bit of goal setting. I do, not as much as I used to.
Yeah. So dare to dream, I guess, is the story. Is that if you write down something that you want to achieve and you write it down meticulously and you see it, it's probably something that is more likely to happen than not, right? Because it's not just manifesting, it's what are the steps I need to do today to reach my target? And that's the thing I've done too, that's changed.
Yeah, look, I used to write how to increase my cash flow. Then this came up. It's just like you put your mind and you're always kind of focusing on that. What's a thing out there that can help me increase my cash flow? And opportunities always arise.
Yeah.
Are you in the place to take it? And that's the thing. You always got to be in position.
Yeah.
If you focus on it, it will be there. It will arise. You just got to be in position.
I love that. Is that the ability to put yourself in position to have opportunities is very rarely going to happen without an intention, isn't it? Intention's a lot. I'll leave with this because I know you're a busy man. You got things to do. Is that if someone's intentional with a habit, with a goal, with something that they want to achieve, and it's something they reflect on and do, the likelihood of them actually achieving it is a lot higher. What's something for you that is intentional that you do that you think's important to, I suppose, to Frank 2.0? What's an intentional habit that you think is going to make you better moving forward to the big 3-0?
Yeah, look, 3-0 is only about 6 months away, so it's not too bad. But look, I think just focusing on your mental health, that's absolutely number one. Like, I could be in the best shape of my life, but if my mental health is not there, I always got to take care of that. That's number one. Because if I don't take care of it, then it's going to reflect onto other people. So you got to make sure that you do take care of yourself first. It's number one. You can't be a great person to everyone else if you're not a great person to yourself.
Yeah.
So you always got to make sure you do take care of yourself, then you can give to other people.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it's just like what I said before, like, I get a win, then I just want to, like, give other people because I got to win.
Yeah.
It's not I got to win, I'm greedy, I want more wins. No. It's like, I got to win. I felt great. I want other people to feel this as well.
That's cool. And look, I feel like I've won today too, because I've had to have this conversation with you, and I get to feed off your energy and your growth, because, you know, I think about the world that we live in, and I wish people had that intention like you. Is like, in an aeroplane, they say you've got to put your mask on first before you can help others, right? And then you can help as many people as you can physically handle if you put the mask on first. And you're not a man that gets flustered. Like, you don't hesitate. Like, you know, it's clearly about intention. I love that, mate. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. And I know, I guess, if they have any questions, they will reach out, and we'll leave a link down. And for everyone down in Melbourne, they need to come to your gym and then say hi. Where can people find you? Do you have an Instagram following, Facebook? Where would you like to?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, great, man. That'll be great. So Frank Matina is my Instagram. Same with Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if anyone got any questions or feel anything to free up, yeah, for sure.
Thank you, brother. Again, thank you for your time. It's Damien from Apex Unleashed. Until next time, guys, we'll chat to you soon. Thank you.
Pleasure's mine. Take it easy. Thanks, Damien.
Bye.
Thank you so much for coming to today's episode. I always talk to people about my little journal, and this is the one I've got. It's not my first one, but it really is about your thoughts and actions become really important when you write them down. So don't forget to do those daily habits. They make all the difference. Please like and subscribe to all our channels. We are here to create and share content with you that helps you move forward in your journey as well, and we'd love to hear about your success stories.